Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. On this occasion, we're once again going to discuss several leaks that I've managed to find and that I think are quite interesting to talk about. As usual, this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. Alright, now let's go straight into the main topic of today's video. In this video, our main focus is to discuss a topic that is currently trending in the community. This topic is very interesting because it will greatly affect a character's gameplay, and most of you may already be aware of this information. The information we will discuss is about a bug that occurs on Evanescia in beta version 4.2 v4. Yes, for those of you who may not know, Evanescia is currently experiencing a bug that can be considered quite serious. This bug is not just visual or minor, but a bug that directly affects the damage output produced by Evanescia. In fact, this bug makes Evanescia feel much stronger than she should be. The question now is, what exactly is this bug, and why is its effect so big that it makes Evanescia become super powerful in v4? Let's get into the discussion. Alright, the discussion about this bug is quite varied because there are many POVs from beta testers. One of the first sources comes from OVERPOWERED. He shared his information through his YouTube channel. In his explanation, he mentioned that the changes that happened to Evanescia in version v4 actually look very small. Even if we look at the calculations, the damage increase that should occur is only around 1 to 4%. However, what happens in real testing is very different. Based on direct testing in the beta, OVERPOWERED stated that Evanescia's damage increase feels much larger, even approaching 25% or more. He also emphasized that at that time, they still did not know the exact cause of this phenomenon. But what needs to be known is that Evanescia v4 is currently much better than what the data shows. This certainly becomes very interesting, because there is quite a large difference between the data and the actual results. OVERPOWERED also shared a damage comparison between version v3 and v4 under the same conditions, from relics to the same eidolon state, E0. In that comparison, we can see that in v4, Evanescia's damage increased from previously 1 million to 1.3 million. This increase is very massive, which is about a 31% increase. This is very far from the data that says it should only increase by around 1% to 3%. Not only that, there is another source, starrail, who shared more detailed data, where we can see more clearly the comparison of Evanescia's damage in v3 and v4. He said that even though the elation scaling was nerfed and even though he intentionally lowered the stats quite a lot compared to the v3 showcase with the same team, all damage from her skill set is now much higher than in v3. For example, the first follow-up attack, which previously only dealt around 87k damage in v3, increased to 137k in v4. The first skill, which previously dealt 225k, increased to 268k. Even the ultimate, which was previously at 2.2 million, jumped to 2.8 million. The elation skill during yaoguang ultimate also increased from 521k to 684k. Yes, all of her damage increased, and keep in mind that he had already lowered Evanescia's stats compared to v3. Even so, the damage produced by Evanescia is still higher. From here, it is clear that something is not right. Why could this happen? According to there are two possibilities. First, the multiplier values in version v4 are bugged and may be fixed later. The second possibility is the opposite, where there is a chance that the multiplier values in v1 to v3 were actually bugged. Because we still do not fully understand how the certified bangers mechanic works, it is possible that we are only now seeing Evanescia's true damage in v4. From these two sources, we know that this bug makes Evanescia's damage increase significantly, even under the same stats and conditions in v4, even though it should not increase that massively. However, we still do not clearly know what causes this bug. We still do not know the root of the problem. And from here, we will discuss what actually causes this bug. This information comes from Surleaks. However, Surleaks shared the post in CN. But don't worry, because Honkai starrail Zeta has translated it into EN, so we can easily understand the post. So in that post, Surleaks said that when the Punklord Stage 0 planar set effect is active in the inner circle, it adds an extra 120 elation, causing the wearer to deal excessive damage. So in Evanescia's case, that planar somehow adds an extra 120 elation. Even though the effect of that planar should only give 8% elation and 20% or 32% crit damage. However, the problem does not stop there. That planar is not the only cause of why this bug occurs. Because in another post, Surleaks added a note that this bug is related to the light cone worn by Evanescia. Specifically, there are two examples they shared. First, this bug is clearly triggered when using Evanescia's signature light cone, until the flowers bloom again. Second, when using the 4-star light cone, Mushy Shroomies Adventures, which has the effect of increasing elation by 20%, Evanescia's elation value becomes 132. Meanwhile, without using any light cone at all, her elation value actually reaches 147. This is certainly very strange, because somehow a light cone that should provide additional elation instead results in lower stats compared to when Evanescia is not using any light cone at all. From all of this information, the likely cause of this bug is due to an abnormal interaction between additional elation from external effects, such as the Punklord planar set and light cone, with Evanescia's kit. Evanescia's kit has multiple layers of mechanics, from stat conversion into elation, to triggering effects based on certain conditions, so when there is a large addition of elation, the system may calculate it incorrectly, such as double counting or incorrect calculation order. As a result, the elation value not only increases damage normally, but also re-triggers or amplifies other effects in her kit, which ultimately causes an abnormal spike in damage. In other words, Evanescia is currently in an overperforming state due to a bug, not because of an intentional buff. The question now is, will this bug be fixed? And when will it be fixed? For now, we still have to wait for further developments from the next beta. That concludes our discussion regarding one of the most interesting issues currently happening in the Honkai starrail beta. We greatly appreciate your attention and the time you have taken to watch this discussion until the end. We are also very interested in hearing your opinions. What do you think about the bug that occurs on Evanescia? Do you think this is just a normal bug that will be fixed soon? Or is this actually an indication that Evanescia will indeed become a very strong character? Please share your opinions, analysis, and views in the comment section below. Your discussion will certainly make this topic even more interesting and informative. Don't forget to also share this video with your fellow Honkai starrail players. Your support through likes and subscriptions means a lot for the growth of this channel so that it can continue to deliver informative content in the future. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next discussion.